I have no evidence, and I don't care if you don't believe me. I've used a board with the results and let something into my home and have been physically assaulted by this entity. It started out with that feeling like you were being watched, doors closing, and footsteps on the hardwood when you were home alone, and progressed slowly into being kept awake by something shaking the bed or pulling off your covers, sometimes even whispering your name. The board would disappear for days on end, then show up in places you would have never put it. I became obsessed with it. Then, it was a black mass in the corner of the room, or a silhouette of a man watching you from the doorway. After that, it escalated pretty quickly. I had my hair pulled, fingers pricked, scratched, choked, held down in bed while this thing whispered in my ear, in what could have only been Latin. We had our home blessed, and the bad thing hasn't shown back up. Just the normal occurrences now. But I will never again play with one of those boards. We all asked it questions that only the person asking would know the answer to. It would answer the questions. One question that somebody asked was, what was the name of the boat I went on a cruise when I was 6? It answered. We played with this thing forever. We had cold spot experiences and would place a candle where the cold spot was, and the candle would burn sideways, not straight up and down. One night, we asked it how long we had left to live. This is where it gets really scary. Everybody asked, and they had 50 to 60 plus years left. I go to ask, and it says 10. I ask, 10 years? And it says days. I pretty much shit a brick at this point. It said I was gonna be killed in a car accident by a girl named Emma. We would ask it 3 days later, and it would say I had 7 days left. Ask it 2 days later, and it would say I had 5 days left, and so on. I finally tell my dad, and he doesn't believe me. So I made one out of a piece of paper, and used a CD to show him. It worked, and he flipped out, and told me that I didn't have to go to school the day that I was supposed to die. I didn't go to school, and nothing happened. I have a terrifying story about a Ouija board. I got a call from my cousin, who said that he, his brother, his dad, and his best friend were using a Ouija board in their basement. Prior to starting, they took a large porcelain doll out of the room because it was creepy and placed it in the adjacent room face down on a pile of towels. My cousin took a short break because the board was spouting nothing but nonsense, so he went to use the bathroom. His dad, brother, and friend started asking the board questions without him. One of the questions was, who is in the next room? It just started spouting random numbers, and when my cousin came back into the room, his brother said that it wasn't working, and that they were gonna put it away, and he showed him the answer to the last question that they asked. He said, dude, that's my social security number. Then they started to talk to whatever was spewing answers out. It told my cousin he would die in the Air Force. It then spelled out the word doll, and they were like, what the hell? They opened the door to check on the porcelain doll they had laid in the other room, and when they opened the doll was standing upright in front of the door, staring at them. Everyone freaked out and ran out of the house. His best friend burned the Ouija board, and I think he temporarily went nuts for a few months. My cousin, for some reason, then joined the Air Force and is in a base in Europe now. My friend had mentioned that she had one, so I asked her to pull the board out so I could check it out. At first she said no, but then agreed to do so if she didn't have to participate. After she had the board set up, I asked, is there anyone here? Nothing. So, being a dumb teenager, I said, if anything is in here and not talking, you're a coward. The board was put away after that. Fast forward about a week later, and have me sleeping upstairs on my couch. I wake up on a stereotypical stormy night. Thunder, lightning, wind, rain, the works. I look around to see why I woke up, and couldn't see a thing, and decide to try and fall back asleep. After laying there for about 30 seconds, I hear a voice from downstairs. Get the boy! In a very raspy, wispy voice. I open my eyes and listen. Nothing. Start to go back to sleep. Get the boy! It was much louder this time. Then my downstairs door slammed shut. I freaked out because nobody slept down there, and we had no drafts.